Welcome to a new season of The Suitor, your guide to the romance and rivalry of classic literature. I'm your host, Anthony, and boy, do we have some juicy updates from the English countryside this week. Today, we're unpacking the first chapters of Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice and getting to know our suitor for the season. Our main man is Mr. Darcy, a wealthy bachelor whose arrival with his cheerful friend Mr. Bingley has the local families buzzing with excitement. Mr. Bingley quickly captures hearts with his charm, but it's Mr. Darcy, with his mysterious and somewhat distant demeanor, whose tumultuous relationship becomes central to the plot. Enter Elizabeth Bennet, our sharp and spirited protagonist. When Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy meet, their interactions are anything but typical. They challenge each other, sparking a series of misunderstandings and a mutual fascination that defines their complex relationship. These early chapters set the stage for the social whirlwind of Meryton, where every ball and visit is full of conversations that reveal the absurdities and norms of 19th century English society. And we'll be diving into all the satire and scandal you can handle right after this message from Mia. Welcome back! Before we jump into all the season's drama, let's set the stage and get a better understanding of the society in which our characters live. Pay close attention to the tone as we read the opening lines of the novel. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. However little known the feelings or views of such a man may be on his first entering a neighborhood, this truth is so well fixed in the minds of the surrounding families that he is considered as the rightful property of some one or other of their daughters. In literature, tone refers to the attitude of the speaker. So, what do you notice about the tone of this statement? Let's break it down. The sentence starts by declaring that the ideas within it are universally acknowledged. This means that the statement that follows is an irrefutable fact known and accepted by everyone. But that's pretty unrealistic and gives off major exaggeration vibes. So what is this universal truth? Well, that any single man who has his finances in order must certainly want a wife. Do you think that's a universal truth? I'm thinking some single men want wives, but not others, so this doesn't seem like something that is universally true. But according to this quote, it is a truth so fixed in the minds of people that they view any single man as the rightful property of their daughters. This doesn't seem to be about what the men and women actually want at all. This society seems to have certain expectations, and it's assumed the people are all in agreement. Now, I know you and I aren't living in 19th century England, but do you think everybody in any society has ever been in complete universal agreement about anything? Probably not. Usually, when one comes across exaggerated generalizations like this, it's a good time to stop and think about what the author is really trying to say. In fact, this is exactly what authors want you to do. Pride and Prejudice is one of the most famous examples of a style of writing called satire. And satire is when authors use humor, irony, exaggeration, or ridicule to critique an aspect of society or human nature. Satire isn't just about being sarcastic or funny, it's really about making readers think beyond the words of the page, to reflect on bigger societal issues. In Pride and Prejudice, a lot of the satirical commentary centers around social class and the traditions of courtship and marriage. So, what could Austen's use of satire in the opening lines of the novel be saying about society? Let me give you some more context. Austen was writing during the early 1800s in England, a time when social class was at the center of life. In high society, marriages were often more about securing financial stability and enhancing social status than about love. For women who had limited rights and economic independence, marriage determined their social standing and future security. So given what you know about the time Austen was writing, what do you think she was saying about her society through the use of satire in this quote? Pause the video while you think. Austen uses satire to criticize how her society views marriage. She's poking fun at how families rush to marry off their daughters to wealthy men. The idea here is that people see a rich man as a prize, mostly for his money and the social status he can bring, rather than for love or personal compatibility. By using satire, Austen reveals that she doesn't quite agree with these social norms, and she establishes the idea that characters and events of the story will continue to develop this societal critique even further. You see, satire is not something authors just throw around here and there. Usually, when satire is used, it's a defining element of the entire text. So you can now refer to the whole novel of Pride and Prejudice as a satire. This means that you should think about the events that unfold as pieces of Austen's critique on society. Additionally, you'll notice that even the characters are satirical, each representing different facets of society that Austen is critiquing. So that must mean our very own suitor, Mr. Darcy, must be a satirical character himself. I wonder what social commentary his character might bring to the table. Let's think about this moment at the Meryton Ball, where Mr. Darcy shares his first impression of the novel's leading lady, Elizabeth Bennet. She is tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. I'm in no humor at present to give consequence to young ladies who are slighted by other men. What does this tell you about his character? Pause the video while you think. What did you notice? I'm thinking Mr. Darcy is pretty superficial and judgmental. He comments that Elizabeth is just tolerable and not handsome enough to tempt him. So basically he's like, she's okay, but she's not pretty enough for me. In fact, he doesn't even want to pay attention to the young lady who doesn't seem to be getting attention from other men. So he's superficial, judgmental, and also pretty snobby. So what could Austen be saying about upper-class society through this satirical character's attitudes? I'm thinking that Austen is satirizing the elitist attitudes of the wealthy. She uses Darcy's arrogant remarks to critique the superficial values of the upper class, who often judge people based solely on their appearance and social status. By establishing the novel and its characters as satire from the very beginning, Austen is inviting us to question and challenge these societal norms. As you continue reading, pay close attention to Austen's use of satire. She uses humor, irony, and exaggeration to present critiques about the flaws and traits of her society. But it's up to you to think beyond the words and uncover these critiques. This satirical season of The Suitor is sure to show us all the pride, prejudice, and drama we can handle. Will society's standards dictate who will be matched with our suitor, or will true love triumph? Keep reading and stay tuned for next week's episode to find out. Hey.